are definitely welcome to ask questions at the end.
Thank you, collective shapers. Thank you, Metropolitan. I'm just going to start off with protocol. I know all protocol was observed, Chair, but I need to start off with protocol. The first form of protocol I'd like to start off with is a sincere and deep apology. Most of you will know this, but my colleague and I, Tsekofatsos, everybody who's sitting over there, also part of ValueEd, we arrived late. We got the time wrong. Let me rephrase that, because this is not a collective problem, it's an individual one. I got the time wrong. So, when you talk about responsibility and respect, I think it's only due to the Metropolitan Group, to Kalani and Pumla, to yourself, to say sincere apologies. Added to that, I'd like to say, a sincere congratulations to you, for those of you who have come on time and showed up today. And you used the word honor. You had to honor the invitation. And I think that's a very profound word to use, but a very necessary one. I'd just like to say something before I kick off on my presentation. I've been toying about whether to say this or not, because I don't want to dampen the mood, but I also want to begin to set a little bit of context to where we are and what we're doing. The fact that you've shown up as a percentage of who was expected to show up speaks volumes towards not just yourselves as those who showed up, but the challenge that we have. The challenge that we have in South Africa is that we are in a crisis. Actually, if I was to rephrase that, we're at war. We're at a societal war that has a very clear beginning and end. The end could be the state of a lot of our African countries, some of which I've lived in. So when I talk about this, I'm not talking about this in hypothetical examples. I've grown up in probably 6 African countries where I schooled and lived and watched what happened to them. The last of which was Zimbabwe. I lived there for 5 years. And I watched a country go from the breadbasket of Africa to where it is today. Now, I'm not going to get into social and economic challenges, but what I am going to say is that the only way we can come out of the challenges that we have is that for each and every individual to step up. And by stepping up, I mean showing up and deciding what cause you're going to fight for. Because you're going to have to pick a cause. Because I don't know how many of you have children. And I don't know how many of you are intending to have children. But I know certainly all of you have nephews and nieces and young ones that you're familiar with. And the responsibility for us, as some of the elder generation, is to work in such a way as to create an environment for yourselves. But the baton is being handed over to you. The baton of what the future of this country is going to look like is going to be handed over to you. And the expectation is that you're going to pick it up and run with it in the same way as the baton of our forefathers, some of which are still alive, was for us to get what we have today, which is a free, democratic Republic of South Africa. Now, I'm always amazed about Metropolitan because I've worked for a few organizations and in marketing, but one of the things that completely amazes me about Metropolitan is what they put first. The conversation around the brand of Metropolitan and the impact and the growth of the brand was the last point they made. Before that, it was an entire conversation about the responsibilities. Here's an organization that has gone out of its way to specifically target, pick different regions, different provinces in the country, find the youth of that country, and support them in such a way that they can actually progress in their businesses. And I'm going to give you examples of how they're going to support yourselves that go beyond any competitive situation. That is phenomenal. But it requires us to grab the baton that they're handing us. And a lot of what Pumla was going to say before you leave There needs to be t-shirts. You know, there are Pumlarisms that she says without even thinking about it, right? So the classical one is, it's not a handout, it's a hand up. But you just said that the stupidest question is the question not asked. And I don't know if you realize that you just dropped them like pearls. But sorry, I just wanted to mention that before you stepped out of the room. But the opportunity that they have created, Metropolitan, is one that is life-changing. And Benjamin is an example of that life-changing experience, but there are so many others that one can talk about. So just as a beginning, I just want to say thank you for showing up. But what I want to see are two things. You're going to hear me talk about this in self-mastery because that's the course I read. I want to see discipline and I want to see consistency. And discipline really is showing up. You know, when you fall, you get up. You don't just lie there. You know, when you're lying in bed, you don't want to get out of bed? Well, guess what? You get out of bed. That is discipline. And the more you do that, consistently creates consistency. So that's going to give you the context of what I'm going to talk about in terms of value add. Now, value add is the first stage. There's been a lot of questions you've asked, and I hope this will answer most of the questions before my other colleagues come up. So I'm supposed to press the green button, which is that one. Okay. I forgot my spectacles. So, who is value add? So I'll just give you a little context of who we are. We're an online, so that answers the question. There's a gentleman who asked the question about how many face-to-faces, etc. We're an online learning, skills learning community. So there were questions I think you asked about networking and community. What you're going to learn about value add is that it's a business itself. I started this business in 2010, July, in the middle of COVID. And in all intents and purposes, very proud of what we did when COVID was around, because we built this platform, which I think, as you experience it, is going to be something of significance going into the future. It was birthed in 2010 because that's when I was thinking about it, but really conceived in 2020. What's the objective of it? It's to inspire some of your choices that you're going to make. Now, inspiration is a key part of what we do at Value Add, and it's the catchphrase, we inspire better choices. Tseko, our colleague, said something yesterday that blew me away. I said, she's a Value Addian first, but she was also one of the members of the team. She said, what's your experience of Value Add? And she said, it's given me the will to keep going. And the reason why it blew me away is because that's what Value Add has done for me, personally. It's given me the will to keep going. When I heard every single one of you announce your businesses and who you were, I had goosebumps. I had goosebumps. Sometimes I sit there and have deep conversations about where are we going and are we going to make it and can we come out. And then I watch the Ukraine president. That Ukrainian president has just not stopped. He's always in his military outfit and he has absolutely no regard about what's going on other than the fact that they're going to succeed against the almighty Russian army. That's the experience, that side. The experience for me here is listening to you, and it's the same most profound experience. It's hearing you say what you're doing. And I'm just saying, there are people out there who are fighting every day for themselves. So what we're going to help you do, because trust me, you're going to need it. I need it every day in this business. I've been in it, unlike you guys, so I'm going to need a lot of your help. I've been in it 2.5 years. I'm going to need the will to keep going. The will to continue believing that we can make it. And we will make it. And also the will to remember why. We run a series of courses. And these courses, by the way, on our side in Value Add, you do get a certificate. You get a certificate of attendance. And these certificates are able to enable you to talk about the skills that you have gained. whenever you need to go and do a pitch, let's say, and you've got to do pitches. If you haven't done, have you done pitches for business? Anyone done a pitch for business? 1, 2, yeah. Trust me, you'll all do pitches for business, right? You'll end up having to do that because if you have to scale, we're going to have to start talking about how do we scale the business to a broader perspective. How do we take what your business is to bigger? And I'm going to show you lots of examples of where that's possible. And one of my #1 examples that I live by is Netflix. How many of you have Netflix, watch Netflix? You all know Netflix? Do you know the history of Netflix? 1 or 2 people like you just chilling, coming up with an idea that was maybe 10 years ahead of their lifetime. So when Talani and Pumla say it's possible, the Benjamin stories are possible, and he may go on to, not he may, he will go on to greater heights. That story is possible for absolutely everybody. So I think you all have your passion and purpose. One of the things that we try to do in Evaluate is ensure that you're on track with your passion and purpose. And then obviously for you in this case to navigate your business career. Because this is a journey. It is going to be a long journey. I think the longest I heard business was 2014. Chair? Is anyone longer than 2014? So that's 8 years. The first 5 years are usually known as starvation years. Yep. Your business is in starvation. You're just, right? It's like tough. And usually most businesses fail within the first 5 years. Your second 5 years are known as your stability years. And just my head is just a little bit above water here, but every once in a while, my nose goes under and then comes up a bit. It goes under and then comes up a bit, but it's a little bit more stable. And then your next 5 years are your success years. When I heard that, it made me think about business and the journey that I'm going to be on completely differently. Because you don't know what's going to create the U-turn. You don't know what's going to create the change in you. So I think I'm going to skip this because you've heard a lot about what Metropolitan are. They're thought leaders, and we are thought leaders in the youth space, and we are live and interactive over Zoom, so you're comfortable. We're online. At the present moment, we're going to have a long journey together, and I'll explain just now. But one of the core components that was also mentioned here is about paying it forward. And paying it forward, one of the best ways you can pay it forward is around networking. Utilizing each other to network. There is no competition. There is co-opetition, or there is collaboration. And there are lots of ways in which you can collaborate. Lots of ways in which you guys can work together to ensure that there is beneficiation for everybody. One day, by the way, don't call it junk. We'll talk about that later. It's not junk, it's African food. It's our traditional food. It's the food that we eat. You know, when we take ikota and we chuck everything in it. No one else does that in the world. We do it. And there are moments in time, Chair, that we want that. Yes. There are moments in time when we want it, right? Regardless of how healthy we feel, we just say we want that. So the 20th of February, you all, 125 of you, and there will be 125 of you, from Tshwane will begin a journey of shaping themselves for the future. On the 20th of March, which is the 1 month, 20 of you will move forward to BPO. Now again, and I think Sister Lani has talked about this, that doesn't mean that the journey ends. How many of you watch Idols? Voice of America, what is this, The Voice, etc., etc. How many of you know the guys who actually won those ones and where they are today? It's usually the guy who came 3rd, 5th, 20th, 3rd, because you know why? They took advantage of the experience. They didn't chase the result, they took advantage of the experience. And that doesn't mean the 20 can't take advantage of the experience. It just means take advantage of the experience. If you make it through there and then it gets to 10, don't go, oh no, now it's not going to work. Because what Metropolitan has done very successfully is to keep this program going for a year. So the rest will continue with us at Valuate on our courses for the next 12 months, and will be inspired to think about their entrepreneurial journey and be given practical and soft skills to navigate that journey. This entrepreneur, and we're going to navigate it together, because you are looking at an entrepreneur who needs a lot of navigation and a lot of support and a lot of help. So we're going to be doing this practically. Yeah, we might go into a textbook every once in a while to learn something, but I want to know what you're going through. And I want you to share what you're going through so that somebody else can go, hang on a second, I got a solution to that problem. And if we network in that way, we'll build a better capability for us. One of the big things that I'm big on is, particularly when things get tough, I always have to ask myself, Mara, why did I start this? Why am I doing this? Yeah. I mean, there must be an easier way, really. Why? And the entrepreneurial journey is tough, but it is the most significant. I said this statistic, and I always say it, and I'm always baffled how many people are shocked by it. 31, the United States of America has dominated the world. Let me give you an example of how big the United States of America is. And I did this analysis the other day. Basketball and American football combined as total revenue for those two sporting industries, just those two, is almost equal to the GDP of South Africa. They're about 900 billion. And we're about 1 point something trillion. Two sports, just sporting codes, I'm talking about companies. America has dominated the world completely, economically and business-wise. But here's the interesting fact. They have 31 million registered businesses that employ 500 people or less, typically considered small businesses. Of that, 28 million are one-man businesses. 28 million. There are only less than 200,000 businesses in America that employ over 1,000 people. So America employ over 500 people. America is actually made up of small businesses. But a fantastic network of small businesses. And they've synchronized that really, really well. So the courses we're going to run through, self-mastery courses, we'll talk about that a little bit more when we have the induction, and we'll talk about that. Mental health and wellness, your mental state and who you are is going to have to be important. And this question of Mara why is going to come up all the time. And there are going to be moments that you want to quit. I'm sure, how many of you have wanted to quit sometimes and say, hey, but you know what? Me too. Me too, all the time. And you're not alone. You're not the only ones. That's the entrepreneur. I give the example, being an entrepreneur is like climbing Mount Everest. It's a good idea when you're on the ground and you're training for it. The moment you start climbing, at some point you're going to go, I've had enough. But you need somebody to grab you and give you the will to keep going and say, we're not far. Just take small baby steps and keep going. And that's what we're going to do together in Value. We've got programs for businesses as well. So it's your mental health for businesses, Valuepreneur, which I run, which is all about starting businesses, the problems you're going through, that's the kind of format we'll have. Digital Biz CEO, this is big. Digitizing businesses, you're going to have to scale your businesses. And the best way to scale is digitizing your businesses. By the way, I created Valuate, I think we've got 18 courses, and of the 18 courses, about 12 of those people I've never met. Who host the courses, I've never met them. We met digitally, online networking. And some of them are based in Europe. Never met them. So your ability to scale means your capacity and your capability to grow yourself on a digital footprint. Marketing that was talked about, new technologies, I'm going to love telling you about that. What are the technologies that are coming? How many of you have heard of ChatGPT? You're going to need to know these technologies because they're going to help your business. They're going to help your business in a lot of ways. And they're technologies that are coming. Right now, I wouldn't start a fleet of petrol stations. Why? Well, because in 2030, most European manufacturing cars are not going to be making any hydrocarbon cars anymore. They'll all be electric. So unless your petrol station is planning in the next 7 years to go electric, it's not going to last very long. So you need to think about the technologies that are coming. Voice technology. Do people know you? How do they know you? Because the future is not about who knows you. The future is not about what you know. The future is about who knows you. Can people find you? If I get up and say on my phone right now, and I say I'm looking for a restaurant in Tswana, I want it to be a traditional restaurant. Pops back to me. That's GPT, by the way. It's going to be better than Google search. Oh, what kind of traditional food are you looking for? I'm looking for kota. Where are you? I'm in the central Pretoria. Ubani Bani is around the corner. Are you the Ubani Bani who will be around the corner? Because if you're not, my car talks to me, my phone talks to me, Alexia at the house talks to me. The future is not about the future is about voice. So how are you moving towards that? Sorry, let me just go back one. Yeah, and then these courses we'll talk about later. I'm trying to go through this quickly so we get to the program. So our courses are conducted in the evening because you're entrepreneurs. Some of you work 24 hours, I know, but they're conducted in the evening, right? So between quarter to 6 and 7 o'clock, and as I said, by industry experts, and you'll be with us for 1 year. Paid for and supported by Metropolitan. I asked myself the question, and I'm 55, about to turn 55. Who in my lifetime gave me this opportunity? Who in my business lifetime has given me this opportunity? Nobody. So when I sit there and I listen to Sister Lani and Puma speak, I'm learning too. We're all learning because we're on this journey. So we're together for 1 year. Attending our courses, we'll talk about that. Hopefully, so that you can become better for the community. So, getting to the top 20. We are going to add you into a WhatsApp group. Right? And what we're going to do, Mr. Chair, is add the existing people who are with us between today and tomorrow, and Seko will get those details. But you're part of the 125, so we're going to add all the 125 into a WhatsApp group. And then we intend to have an induction online tomorrow. So we're going to have 2 tomorrow, and we've just included 1 on Monday, just for the other group that we're going to find between the course of now and Monday. The reason for this WhatsApp group, and I know you're on bots, so put this one as priority WhatsApp group. Silence all the others. The family ones, those ones, the joke ones, silence those. Put this one as priority. The purpose of this is to notify you, give you notifications and reminders of the course and when it's starting. You know the time is 5:45, but we send the day before, hey, this course is, marketing is tomorrow, right? And you just click onto the Zoom link. Once you've typed your name the first time, all of a sudden off you go with all the other notifications. And then you can register for the courses that are running. Those of you who obviously went into the web page, please take a look at this. You know this, it's coming out. Oh, it's coming out better here. The website address, which is value-add, is that forward or backslash? I've never known. Forward slash. Collective Shapers, right? It will bring you to this site. You're familiar with this site, right? Before it used to have register. It had apply. Now it's got register. This is where you go in and you can register for the course. If you go into this now, and I don't mind you going into it as we're talking, and register for the onboarding sessions that are on tomorrow. There are 2 sessions. Pick one. The reason why we put 2, ESCO. ESCO. So we are playing around ESCO. So pick one that you can attend. We will also add on Monday. So if for any reason you can't attend any of the 2 tomorrow, we're going to add one more for one day, on Monday for all the others, where we're going to run through this practically. We're going to click, 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 click and show you, but you guys are probably more familiar with that. You'll get a series of courses. The first one that we're going to run on the 21st is the self-mastery course with myself. This is really going to rev you up, help you maximize your potential, give you that sense of keeping going, and then we're just going to start running the courses, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that in the induction tomorrow. Now, to get to the top 20, there are some rules of the game. You know rules, yellow card, red card, send off, penalty, all that sort of wonderful stuff. Rule number 1, there are 4 courses that you must attend. This is the must, right, in order to make it to the top 20. And these 4 courses are spread over the 4 weeks, so it's 1 a week, right? And they are the self-mastery course. By the way, we'll flag them every time we send them out to you. The 21st, this one, please attend. The Digital Biz CEO course, you've got to watch this course. Once you come out of this course, you're going to ask yourself, why do we have unemployment? Digital technology that's around you can enable you to do anything and everything. And there are many people who are doing that. Valuepreneur course, where we're going to talk about business and how you started your business and what's going on. And it's really going to be a lot of accountability sharing stuff, right? With a little bit of me saying something that I think might be valuable. And then business finance course. Now, business finance is not about balance sheets and income statements. How many of you like balance sheets and income statements as you run your business? Me too, hate it. Can't stand it. That's why I've got a bookkeeper. They do all that stuff, right? But you kind of need to know a little bit of something, because here's the interesting thing that I learned. It's not about balance sheets and income statements, it's about your psychology and your relationship with money. What do you feel like when you invoice? Yeah, sometimes. Do you collect the money that's due to you? How do you deal with your debtors? So we start working on this construct of your relationship with money, because if you don't get that right in business, if you think that you're overcharging, like I'm always doing, I'm always liking to discount. Tsepo goes, hell no, you're not discounting this. So my natural tendency is that we're going to have those conversations. So let's just go one back again. So these are the 4 courses that you must attend, ladies and gents, within the course of a month. So not attending the 4 courses may rule you out. We don't like the absolutes, because the decision is going to be made by Metropolitan, right? But these are the courses you need to attend. The other courses, right, which we're going to talk about, are really about your ability to attend them, but we're going to create a leaderboard. You know, like the Premier League and the PS. Who's top of the PSL? Our PSL right now. Where are Sundowns from? Yeah, okay, broader people, broader, 20. Right, so I'm a big Sundowns fan, sorry about that. But so we're going to create a leaderboard that really talks to who's attended the most courses, right? So that you can check yourselves out and say, oh, look, I've attended X amount of courses. We're going to run, I can't remember the number, courses, sessions, and events. It's probably about 12 to 15, but obviously we're not expecting you to attend all of them, but we want to see how many of them that you will attend, and it's for record as well. So it helps to attend as many as you can, because we really want you. And this is for the 4 weeks. Remember, the 4 weeks up until the 20th of March is where Metropolitan is going to be making the decision around who's going on to make the top, the last 20 that move on to BPO. So, participate, engage, we'd like that, with the industry experts, question, use the chat box, get involved, and as importantly, network. You see, I have it here as well. Network with each other, get to know each other, understand who is who. Maybe the guest house can get some discounted stuff from those who are making quarters. Right, so please get involved and take advantage of this opportunity. After 4 weeks, in that 4th week, right, based on attending the compulsory courses and many of the other courses, the leaderboard, we're going to ask a selection of you to make a video clip to say, this is why you need to put me in the top 20. But that video clip shouldn't be more than 1 minute, 30 seconds. Don't go on telling us your life story, and don't go on, the dog got hit by a car and therefore this is why I think. Just 1 minute and 30 seconds, and then the selection process will take place, and the move to BPO is what's going to happen after that. So the compulsory courses, you'll see, just put a, can you see this? Okay, yeah, all right. So induction tomorrow, 2 dates. Self-mastery is yellow. These are the courses that are running. So we've got a course on the 22nd. We've got a course on the 23rd. Don't worry about the 25th. That's something else. And then this is March, course on the 2nd, course on the 6th. So Pile's course, I'm looking forward to that. This is a new course. It's just starting. This course is about, so let me give you a quick synopsis. Mpile used to be a captain of one of the provincial cricket teams and didn't quite make the pro teams. He was captain but didn't make the pro teams. And he has now written something called The Change Room to talk about excellence in performance, in delivery, about you as an individual. What is the small thing that might just stop you from crossing that line and seeing what you're supposed to see? So that, I'm looking forward to that course. And then we've got mental health and wellness, and then we've got Women of Valor. So Women of Valor is an event where women can come together and have conversations around specific and particular issues. And we've got a guest in mind for that. We have a guest, but we're about to tell that guest, no, not you. And we've got another guest, just thought about it right now, so we've got to go and speak to them. Because I think it would be appropriate, whilst we're all of us are in the group, to have that conversation that's related to women in business and women and what certain things are trying to happen there. Social media and personal brand. How many of you are on social media? What are you social mediaizing? Your products or you?
It's me.
Products. Sorry, what did you say? Oh, we're going to have a conversation about that. Oh, we're going to have a wonderful conversation about that. Oh, yes, we're going to have I have an opinion and I'm stuck to my opinion. Nobody's going to change my opinion. You are the brand. But we'll have a conversation about that, right? I want you, have any of you followed The Rock? The Rock, right? He has one social media account, right? Instagram. He puts everything there. His businesses, his personal life, his no. But we'll have a chat. Oh, I'm looking forward to that one. So that's social media and personal branding, navigating your job search. So this is not going to be so much on this one about you looking for a job, because that's not what I'm looking for. But this is going to be, how do you profile yourself? Particularly your LinkedIn account. How is it profiled? What does it look like? If I was to click and go, pick a name and just go in there, what am I going to find? Because trust me, there's a lot of business you can get from people seeing who you are and what you are and how you're presenting yourself. And when you go and make a pitch, they sometimes ask for a bio or a synopsis or who are you, have you created one? And does it tie in with you? Where are we now? Okay, and then, yeah, and then we end on the 17th. Top 20 is picked, that will be the 4 weeks, and then from the 20th, BPO takes over. Last, and we're almost finished. Oh, actually we're finished. We're done. Does that make sense now?